Hello, welcome to the first edition of Straight Drive. And today we are going to talk about something with which we are confronted on a day-to-day basis: media and entertainment. The media and entertainment industry is facing a paradigm shift in its approach to not only the people it targets, but also the people who are part of this industry. The COVID 19 has changed the way we consume media and entertainment. And home isolation and also confinement in a lockdown situation has resulted in a lot of in house and online consumption of both media and entertainment. And this is also going to result in a lot of cautious approach, a change in an approach to out of the house activities, and also a change in the behavioral pattern of each consumer. And therein is going to be the new dynamics that are going to set in this industry. The pandemic has actually set in a pandemonium in the job market in the media and entertainment industry. There are already huge number of layoffs happening. The news are coming in, trickling in rather. Media is always very discreet about its own layoffs, but they are not when it comes to other industries. But it is happening, and it is happening all around us with a huge number of retrenchments that are happening. But then again, this is a fallout of the scaling down of ad spent by the different corporates, and as and when the real economic fallout actually seeps into this industry, we would see a greater number of layoffs, and scaling down of ad spends would be the direct reason for the same. And also monetization being under pressure, there would be a greater technological integration to actually maximize profits. So I think what we are going to see is a lot of new technology coming in the industry, whereas also lesser number of people perhaps would be the way forward for most of these companies which are into the media and entertainment business. So the future is surely digital, and what was being projected for the year 2030, that is a digital billion, I think that process has been greatly hastened thanks to this 3 months of lockdown, social distancing, and isolation. I think what we are going to now see, the dynamics are going to be very vastly different, and what we look at is television content and online content forming the core of the digital and entertainment ecosystem. And I strongly believe that finally, as I mentioned earlier, technology integrating with creativity is going to be the core or the essence of the future of the media and entertainment industry. So now let's have a look at the three traditional media verticals that we are closely associated with in our day-to-day lives. Definitely, television revenue-wise comes first, though traditionally it would be the print or the newspaper. But the revenue part being the most important part of any business. Television, which in the year 2019 had a had a revenue share of almost 715 billion Indian rupees, has seen a sharp decline in the last few months due to a reduced ad spend. The content was mostly recycled the last 3 months, and of course, getting in new content would be important to scale up the revenues. And I think the saving part, or the saving grace for raking up more revenue, would definitely be sports events. I think the television industry is genuinely looking forward to either the IPL or maybe the T20 World Cup happening, because perhaps that would be the easiest way in which Indian television can actually rake up its revenues. And also, we would see a greater ad spend by the corporates and other business houses. Whereas the newspaper, the print medium, which had a revenue of around 335 billion Indian rupees in 2019. Definitely, a print media enjoys a lot of credibility compared to any digital platform or portfolio, because there's a virulence of fake news or manufactured news in the digital domain, which of course print media does not have much, not really notorious for that. But definitely, once the normalcy returns, I'm sure the revenue incomes would go up. And also, the other part of the new age publication or the print media would be greater presence in the digital domain. Definitely, most of the publications in today's scenario or context are actually bringing in a lot of digital content. Almost all of them now have a digital version of their print publication, and not only that, they actually are concentrating a lot on the digital domain as well, which is in fact, as I had mentioned earlier, that would be the technological integration to actually scale up the traditional media and traditional content. Finally, the lesser cousin of the three, the radio, which had a revenue of around 28 billion rupees in 2019, has actually lost a lot of its audience, the transit audience. The people who used to listen to radio during their travel time, has actually, thanks to the isolation and the lockdown, actually started not really listening to radio as much as the industry would like to. The live industry has lost a lot of money in this lockdown period, to the tune of almost 30 billion Indian rupees, with the cancellation of live events, press conferences, and other launches, etc. And it is not likely to recover in the very near future, thanks to the new social distancing norms, A, and B would be the psychological impact of these last 3 months, I think, will greatly hamper fresh content in terms of live events and live programs. So that is one area which definitely is going to be a big loss for the industry. And as far as the public relations post COVID-19, I think the entire perception of PR must undergo a lot of change. At the present context, hard selling of products, hard selling of news is not very conducive to the atmosphere or the prevailing atmosphere that we are living in right now. So, which are the areas or the sectors which have been badly hit? Well, travel, tourism, hospitality, manufacturing, a lot of such allied activities have been badly hit as far as PR goes. But there are areas like IT, industries like NGOs, institutions, welfare institutions, which are actually healthcare, which are actually doing very pretty well, and perhaps these are the areas which now the PR companies need to concentrate on. The PR companies, of course, also need to change their strategy. Right now, holding hands for the media with the media is very important. Giving quick bites, articles, quotes, wellness communication would be perhaps areas which PR companies should be concentrating on to build a long term relation with the media and also build their own credibility and get over this crisis. But for me, I think this crisis has had a lot of positives. It has helped us become self dependent. I mean, we have become very content within ourselves. Introspection has increased. We have been coming out with newer strategies to combat this crisis, this isolation, as well as also think about ways wherein we can actually come out successfully out of this isolation and this lockdown. And I think also the other very important part has been that we have also been able to learn to live within ourselves, within a budget. I think all of us have learned how to tackle crisis. Otherwise, maybe many of us haven't faced in our lifetime. But I think this has been an education as far as all of us to overcome obstacles and still not only sustain but also succeed rather. So, wishing everyone a very happy post lockdown scenario where you maintain the social norms that we actually learned during this period and also successfully carry out our professional engagements. Thank you. Bye bye.